How you doing? Preston Martelli here. I am so excited for you guys joining me today. I'm going to be talking about this training is going to be intended for entrepreneurs or business owners who are looking to get a steady flow of new leads coming into their business on an ongoing basis. Now, and really start living your life, right? I am very fortunate. I'm pretty happy to say I'm able to now live life on my terms. And what's awesome about that is that I wasn't able to do so not too long ago. I was really much just relying on word of mouth referrals. I mean, I was working as a freelancer, building websites and helping people with SEO and some of the different online things. And I had a business, but it was somewhat unreliable because I was focused. I was waiting on, either friends or past customers sending me leads or having leads trickle in through SEO, which I knew how to do, but they were coming in, but not nothing that was scalable, right? So I found it very, very frustrating. And like you guys, when you get into this hole of entrepreneurship is because you're doing something different and you see those people that are succeeding and really excelling out there and you want to understand how they do it, right? So fortunately, I'm working in the online world. So I was able to do a lot of research. I spent a lot of time with the customers I had coming in to spend time to learn and understand this whole concept of lead generation. Because my wife and I, we had a kind of like a fantasy goal. We thought that we wanted to go and travel the world, right? We said, wouldn't it be awesome if you could just pack everything up and go away for a year and not have to worry about finances? Well, guess what? I got 4 kids. And last year we did that. We actually took the kids out of school for a whole year and we gave them a year of world education. One of the most valuable things that I think I could do in my entire life. And it's pretty much because of this system I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so basically the foundation behind this is I studied, I learned, I put different things together. I had tons of pieces of the puzzle all over the place, but I didn't have a clear roadmap. And this roadmap is pretty much what took me out of where I was to where I am today. And I got really good at it. So in terms of getting good at it, I was not only able to do it for myself, but I was able to replicate it for other people and let them reap the benefits of this proven system. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to take you guys behind the scene to show you guys the roadmap that I use with my customers, as well as what I want you to know is that I want you to follow this. I'm going to give you guys all the tools you need to kind of follow through that roadmap and get through. If you execute it fully, you should be able to get the kind of results I'm getting. Not guaranteed, but you should be able to get the results that I'm getting. And if you're not confident, this is not your areas of expertise or something you want to dive into, if you have the financial resources to go out and employ somebody for it, I openly encourage you guys to reach out. You can reach out to myself. I got an agency that we focus on doing this stuff right now, as well as there are tons of other people around that offer a similar service to this. But if they're not following this program that I tell you, you should be wary. You should ask them questions. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to hide myself now and I'm going to jump right into the presentation on the background. So let's go ahead and hit present. All right. So fantastic. Our process, right? So this is Java Logix. And let me just walk you guys through what we do. So step 1, this is our brand. We're going to jump right into step number 1. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have if you're working with me, you're going to have a discovery call, right? And what we're going to do is we want to understand exactly how we can help you or how you can help yourself. Here are the key things that we want to identify at that particular time. Step number 1, what makes your brand unique? What is your unique value proposition that you're offering that makes you unique, right? So there probably are services or products that you have a whole list of. You need to decide on 1 or 2 products, depending on your budget, 1 or 2 products to roll this whole funnel out on. All right, to roll this whole process on, you want to focus on 1 or 2 products. It's going to make you better, believe it, in the long run by focusing on less and then scaling rather than trying to cover all the products or services that you offer. Right? Once you have that, you want to think about who your ideal customer is, right? Nobody wants to have trouble customers. And trust me, having too many of the wrong customers is even more frustrating than having no customers at all. So you want to do things like you want to understand your ideal customer from the different variables that the online marketing enables you to target, right? So you can target online on almost any platform based on location, based on age, based on gender, as well as interests, right? So interest-based targeting is very powerful, and also behaviors, right? So where are your ideal customers? What are the behaviors? Do they need to come to your business? Do they need to make a phone call? Do they need to set up a phone interview, a discovery call? You want to identify what are the behaviors that your ideal customer will be taking, and how can you reach out to them. Once you have that down, you're going to want to move on to the next step. Right now, for us, that is the proposal step. That's where I will go back, and based on all the details that you have, myself and my team will put together a proposal for you, identifying, hey, this is where we noticed that you, based on your, basically, this is what we present as a good funnel to get you through the process, attract your ideal customer. All right. Now, what we'll do is we'll send this proposal out to you for you to review, for you to critique, make changes. Then once we have it signed off, we're going to go right into data analysis. So we're going to get understanding your brand, as well as what exactly what are some of the things that you were doing very well? Because many times you're doing a lot of things right. There might be just a few things that we can do to help tweak it, as well as, so we're not going to start off from scratch. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to do some keyword research, right? We're going to look for buyer intent keyword research, right? We want to find out what keywords are people searching for right before they decide who they're going to go with, right? And based on this information, we can now go out and do an industry SWOT analysis. So SWOT is something from way back in my school days. This is what I studied in university. It's that marketing. It stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So we want to look at your industry from a macro standpoint and see what are the things that they're doing well, and what are the things that we can totally capitalize on in terms of where there are weaknesses that we can jump in and get the fastest return. So they call it low-hanging fruit. We want to find that low-hanging fruit for your brand. And then after that, we want to do some competitive research. Either you tell us who your competitors are, or we can help kind of narrow down on who your top competitors are online, and we can go back and reverse engineer them. We can see exactly what are they doing to make them reach out. And then based on all of that, we'll come back to you guys with a proposed overall funnel that we're going to move people through and get your ideal customer. All right. Now, once that's done, we start to go to work on the blueprint. All right. So for the blueprint, this is what we create. I've been using that word a couple of times in the presentation so far, and you're probably hearing it quite a lot in terms of buzz terms. It's called a funnel, right? So what is a conversion funnel? What do we need to set up to help guide your ideal customer through a particular process to make them actually become customers with you? So if we're doing this is where we go to work doing all of the tech stuff. Now, this is where a lot of people get caught up, because there is a fair amount of tech stuff that needs to synchronizing all your lead gen targeting with landing pages and your ads. Everything has to kind of blend together in order for it to operate on autopilot. Okay. And so this is where we're going to do things like we're going to start to focusing on your sales copy, right? So we're going to build out a landing page or multiple landing pages to split test. So we got to write text for that. We got to get emails in place, right? How many emails are we going to need? Are we going to need 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 emails to send out to your ideal customer to work them through understanding who your brand is? The next one is your call to action. What call to actions can we use to get your ideal customer to click on and eventually choose to be part of your overall funnel? And then last but not least, what ads do we work out there? We can see what your competitors are offering on the market, and we can also see what you should be using based on the products or services that you're offering. The next one is your creative assets. Now, a lot of people don't take this into consideration until it's too late, but you probably want to get all things in advance, like get a folder with what images are we going to use to make sure it's consistent. What videos do we need to create or use? Or maybe you already have videos created, right? Testimonial videos, whether it's product explainer videos, whether it's whiteboard animation videos. We want to have those creative assets put down. And then we want to tie that all in with your brand, right? Do you have a logo? Do you have particular brand colors, brand fonts? We want to make sure all of that is consistent for you, so that when we roll everything out, your customers, your regular customers are familiar with it, but new customers are seeing you as being a tight program, right? And then last but not least is the web pages. We got to build the landing pages that we're going to be sending people to. All right. Once that's all set up, we want to start to look at tracking, right? So that's the cool thing about working online, is that everything is trackable, right? So if you work online, you want to make sure you have the necessary tracking mechanisms set up in advance. For example, Google Analytics, right, is a key one that a lot of people are very much aware of, and we would recommend that we put that on. We also recommend setting up a funnel tracking script. right? Because we're going to actually follow people through that process of us marketing to see how many people land on your landing page, how many people take advantage of a particular lead magnet that we might create, how many people actually make it to the thank you page, so we can optimize on exactly who the winning combination is in terms of your ads. Right? Then we want to make sure we set a proper conversion tracking. We want to use pixel implementation. Pixels are basically bits of JavaScript that companies like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn use for marketing to be able to measure if you're using the platform as a marketing tool, whether or not their software can actually help you improve your marketing by executing certain scripts on your pages. Right. And then last but not least is you want to start to set up the necessary tracking so you can build retargeting lists. Right. Retargeting lists are extremely powerful. Right. Because not only are you able to remarket to the same people several times for a lot cheaper. Right. But also it enables you to do things like create lookalike audiences. Right. Once you start accumulating conversions, you can see, hey, who are the people converting? What do they all have in common? And you can market to similar people based on their demographics. Okay. Now, once that's done, we get to the big and happy, awesome day is when we start to now launch campaigns. Believe it or not, so many people jump straight to the step without doing the groundwork before, and then they wonder why their campaigns are struggling. Right? You haven't identified on a core product that you're going after. You have a vague idea about who your target audience would be, and then you just start running ads. I'm not going to lie if I didn't say I did that to you in the beginning. Right? I did that. I went on Facebook, I hit that boost button, and then boom, I got a bunch of clicks. I got super excited, but none of it converted into money. Right? The reason why is I didn't necessarily have all the right tracking on. Actually, I wasn't even watching the tracking that I did have on, and I didn't know how to optimize. Right? And I thought that these campaigns were fails. In the meantime, they were just teaching me a lesson of what I need to do the next time to remarket to that audience and to really make this turn from a negative campaign into a positive one. All right. Once you've done that, now it's time to cash in. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. All right. So this is where you start to maximize on your return on investment. All right. Now, if you take a look at here, this is an example of a typical funnel. This is called a lead gen funnel, a lead magnet funnel. And what we're going to do is if we're going to look at the analytics. So the analytics will show us things like this. So we can see that we're currently advertising on Google AdWords and Facebook. And let's just say for the simplicity of numbers, I'm just going to give you guys a quick idea of how this kind of looks is, let's say we are able to get 1,000 people from AdWords and 1,000 people from Facebook to come to click on our ads, right? So that gives a total of 60 people will go to our landing page. Out of that, right, on average, we could see about as much as 40% of people actually opt in, right, on a nicely optimized campaign, right? So we sent 60 people to our site, 24 of them actually opted into our magnet because they made it over to our thank you page, right? Once that's done, we can see that of those 24 people that are now in our nurture campaign, we could see how many of those people are actually opening our emails, engaging with us, and actually becoming a customer, right? So we want to make sure that we are watching these numbers, and you can see quite clearly, if we're following this stuff, guess what's going to happen? We're going to learn how to scale, right? So now that we know how to scale, it's just a matter of getting more traffic of those lookalike audiences that will turn into more leads, right? And we hopefully will be able to turn those leads, right, with your help, because once we hand off the online marketing to you, sometimes it's going to be dependent on you closing them on the calls or you actually having good meetings with them to actually close these leads and turn them into customers, right? And when we marry these things together, overall for you, that just means more profit in your pocket. All right. So guys, this is an overall of what I do, right? This is the process that we follow time and time again with our customers to make sure that they're successful. This is the exact same process that I followed to take my business from being hope I make it this month to, oh my gosh, we missed it for the last 3 months to, oh my gosh, we just made back so much money. It sucks. I know that feeling. I don't want anybody to, I hope this helps you kind of see. I know it seems simple, but I hope at least it helps you see the potential and really get you the help you need to be able to succeed. All right. Without further ado, thank you very, very much.